Let's talk about the inverter pump on a Gen2 Prius. Gen2 Prius inverter pump. When it goes out, it'll give you a triangle of death. But in this case, it's not horrible. You just need to take off the inverter pump. You need to block these two hoses so the fluid doesn't flow out of it, because you want to make sure your reservoir is full when you're all done. Now the inverter pump on a Gen 2, I guess you can get to it without taking the fender off. We're going to try. They say you can take the brackets loose on the inverter itself and lift it up a little bit. There's a bracket here, bracket here. Now on a Gen 1, the inverter pump, to get to it, you almost have to take off the front fender and somewhat of the bumper. So this is a Gen 1. And I can show you where the bracket is on a Gen 1. Bracket on a Gen 1 is right there. That's the bracket. You can only see this one because, you know, this one got shortened a little bit. Took this bracket off. Two 12mm bolts going right there. And then 1 12 goes in there. These are 12mm. One's a nut. And the other is a bolt. Hello. And then we'll go down and get the bolt. Alrighty then. Now there's another bolt right there that holds this bracket on, which goes over the pump. So I shoved this socket under here to lift it up a little bit so I can get that bolt out. There we go. Now it's out. Let's see what we got now. Okay, we've got to unplug this wire. Looks like you just pinch it. Famous last words. It's so simple. So the pinch is on the back side. Let's go over here. Gotta squeeze that. The wire lock is gonna go right there. Oh, look at that. So I'm gonna take my long needle nose, give it a squeeze. Break off your wires. Throw some light on the subject. So I gave it a squeeze and a little tug. It came off. Now we got to keep these from leaking as much fluid as possible. So we're going to pinch this clamp right here. Try to get this off. And we'll probably use my upholstery removal tool to pull that up. Why does that work so well? Oh yeah, it's ready to come off. I've loosened it. At this point, I'm going to disconnect all three of these bolts that fasten the pump to the bracket. And the reason why is because I believe with this bracket missing, I can get just this pump. That bracket's making this thing just way too big. But if I can get this pump out of here and get these two hoses up here and high enough, I won't have to worry about draining the fluid. Guess I will tell you how that goes, because I have got to have two hands for this. I think if I was an octopus, I'd be done already. So I'm going to loosen these three bolts. I'm going to get these two hoses high enough that they won't drain any fluid out of the system. No, you are not a metric wrench. Get out of the metric wrench drawer. Hey, what's in there? Hey, what's in there? What's in there? See, this is my metric adjustable. So it's in the metric drawer. And this is the standard drawer with the boxed end wrenches. That is a 10 millimeter. Two of them loosened anyway. All right, so that worked really well. I've got my pump up here. I was pulling too hard on this because I had it already disconnected. It slipped off, so I lost a little bit of fluid. Anyway, that is doable. So now I'm going to take the three out of here and put this back in so I can get it past here and reconnect my hoses. And I just happen to have a plug somewhere. Oh, here we go. I'm going to put this on the top one, and then when I switch the bottom hose and put it on the new one, I'll move it over to the new pump. And that way I'll lose minimal amount of fluid. I don't have to worry about adding. Now, 2 weeks ago, if you look back, I made a video. If your inverter pump ever shorts out, that fuse right there gets blown, and then your dash lights don't work and a bunch of other stuff. So this is the fix to the shorted out inverter pump. Mine wasn't bad at the time. I was just doing that other video for my daughter, and her husband fixed hers. But this inverter pump went bad within a week after I did that other video, and I showed the reservoir how it was moving like crazy. The inverter was overheating. But you want to make sure this is covered, because that's a lot of voltage going through those two little wires. Right here's the air conditioner wires. Those three right there. So yeah, be careful not to bump any of the wires on here, because that's the regenerator wires that go back into the transmission. These are the ones that come from the battery. So I put this plug on here just temporarily so I could swap the hose to the top of the pump. And now I'm going to bring this back over here. But remember, when I disconnect this, this is lower than that water in that reservoir. So it's going to come out of this hose. So I'm going to take and plug it back into here as quick as possible. All right, so I've taken the bracket off of here, and make sure that this hose runs under here, because at one point I pulled it clear back through and had it over it. You don't want to do that. It's got to be underneath this bracket. I've already gotten this loose. Now I'm just going to make the move from there to the new one. Minimal fluid loss. So I made that switch. And I just got to pull this clamp with my long nose, needle nose, back up into place. Now we're going to lower this back down and put the plate back on it while it's right in here somewhere with the 3 bolts. and the new plate. I had to disassemble this, but it's for the better good. So it's going to go on like that with that other bracket on top of it. That bracket down there holds some other sensor or something. Hey, we're in the middle of an inverter pump job. Okay, I'm putting the finishing touches on my plate bolts. Get them all lined up first before you tighten any of them. You'll be spending a lot of time rotating them and getting them turned around. If there's not one thing that doesn't go wrong. Tighten that back. Man, guys, aside from rerouting, putting the hoses in the clips and everything, it's just been pretty easy. Well, get in there. You know you want to. There's one over here. Remember, this guy's going to have to get lined up on that stud first. We might as well plug in this wire, because I don't feel like sticking my hand in that little tiny hole. Yeah, I'm going to turn off the camera. Now when you plug that wire in, you want to listen for that click. That click will tell you that you got it in place. Got to line this up on this stud right there. That hole's got to be lined up. So we got to put this bracket back on that stud down there. Yay. And the fun bolt is going to be that 10mm. Goes right in there. So don't get these two bolts confused. This bolt and this nut is what fastened the plate on. This 10mm is the one that goes into the bracket that holds this other, whatever this is. Some kind of sensor. So wish me luck. Hello. Oh, it's got to come down. Look how far up that is. There we go. Now it's got to come forward. That's it right there. If I can just get a turn on it without losing it. So I've got my 10mm with my gripper extension. Yes. That's the hard one right there. Wiggle that bracket, make that thing go in. We got no room to move this ratchet. I say no room, and it's giving me 3 clicks. Give me 3 clicks, give me 3 clicks, mister. Time for the nut. Magnet. Nut. Of course, they grab the ratchet. Let go. Let go. Boink. That's how you want to go in. So we can get a good rotate on it. Let's get something focused here. Oh yeah, that's definitely on there. Look, it let go of the magnet. So yeah, that's definitely on there. Hello. Sure was nice of me to be filming that thing off the inverter for you. He's a tire guy. Yeah, that's going in. Tighten that one. Tighten the nut. Wow. Now if we had the key, we could put it in, make sure that it actually pumps water. Inverter coolant fluid. So I'm gonna go get the key before I fasten this inverter back up. Make sure that fluid's running. Because before it was sitting like that, doing nothing. So I got these two guys back on. Oh, look, it doesn't want to spin. Crunch. Why you want to give me so much trouble? I want you to feel you're doing well. I hate for people to die embarrassed. Why are you wearing a mask? Were you burned by acid or something? Uh-oh, cross thread. No. The moment of truth. It's ready. Let's see if it's pumping. Yes! $25 pump. It's working. That's exciting. Got a slight little hum to it. That's nice. Make sure you get your hoses routed. There's a clamp down there for that bottom one down there. And this right here, I noticed in my earlier video that it goes down over the bend. So somehow it got moved up the hose. Well, this goes down here. And then this gets pushed on the clamp. Kind of like that. Say goodbye, kitty. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Say bye. Say goodbye.